So this is my collection of Texas Instruments calculators that all use the Motorola 68000 processor. And this series started back in 1995 with the TI-92, I believe. And I have a TI-92 Plus, which I think came out maybe in 98 or 99. And this is actually my favorite electronic calculator to use. It fits well in my hands. I like the layout. It has the full breakout keyboard, so you don't have to use like an alpha button and work in alphanumeric order, which I find super annoying. So um, I really like that part of it. And when they came out with the 92 Plus, they also came out with this module version. You can see here there's some updated instructions. It has this label maker 92 plus thing on it. It's still a TI 92, but in here there's an expansion module slot, and this brings the original 92 um, closer in line with the functionality of the Plus. You do miss a couple of the things. For me, the most important thing that's different is it has the old TI-92 screen still. So if you look at this, it's got a really nice black LCD with good contrast, and it's a little bit matte, so it doesn't reflect as bad. And we'll take a look at the original screen in a second. Um, but the 92 series, the TI-92 series, was followed up with the Voyage or the Voyage 200, the V200. And you can see it's quite a bit smaller. Um, the buttons are a bit smaller. It is a good bit faster, as we've seen in a previous video. But it, for me, is just a little bit too tiny for my hands, so it's not quite as comfortable to work with. But I'm sure a lot of people prefer this, and it still retains the same screen size. It also steps down to AAA batteries instead of AA's in order to save space. Um, so that's another consideration for some people. And the cover here, you can see, it doesn't have the same utility. One of the cool things I like about this is it's notched along the sides. So what you can do is you can kind of pick a level and then prop it up on your desk as you're working with it. So I actually find that quite handy um, when I'm using it. And the reason why I brought these out is, the TI-89 titanium here is actually the V200, but in a more conventional form factor. And there's a few reasons for that. Probably the biggest of which is calculators with the full keyboard like this are not allowed on a lot of exams in school, whereas a more conventional format with the alpha shift and the ABCD kind of um, input method, these are allowed. So um, for school, you would have to get this version of it, whereas um, for work, you would probably get this if this is the kind of device you needed with this kind of functionality. So they also did that with the TI-92 Plus, and I recently just picked that up here. So this is the 89 titanium, and I have now an original TI-89, and you can see here it's basically the same as the 92 Plus, but everything, the screen is quite a bit smaller So it's a little bit more cramped together. Um, the font is a little more squished. And just like the 89 titanium, it has a lot of shift functions, right? So you have secondary functions on most of the buttons. You have the green secondary function on a lot of the buttons. You have the alpha for typing letters. And one of the things that really kind of troubles me about the 89 and then subsequently the 89 titanium, they both have it, is the X, Y, Z, and T variables are broken out onto onto dedicated buttons, which is probably great for doing algebra and stuff. Probably speeds up the input quite a bit. But if you look, when you switch to alpha and you're looking at say like P, Q, R, S, U, the T button's up here, and I run into that quite a bit where I'm trying to type in a word or something to set a variable up in like a program I'm writing, and I'm like, where's the T button? Oh yeah, it's up here. Not such a big problem with X, Y, Z because those are pretty uncommon letters. Maybe the Y, but yeah, that's just for what I do. That's a bit of an annoyance. Whereas probably a lot of people do prefer that because of the ease of entry for um, algebra expressions and stuff. But yeah, that's the 89 titanium, and it's effectively the exact same as the 92 plus. Just again in that more conventional calculator format, mostly for exam board requirements. But the other thing I managed to get, and we can put some of these aside. Well, I'll leave that one out. Is I got the 92.2, and these are pretty uncommon because the TI 92 came out in 1995, and then just a year later, the 92.2 came out. I would imagine most of the people that had a need for this type of device probably got one just a year earlier and weren't interested in upgrading. As well, Texas Instruments sent out a lot of the original TI 92s to classrooms and stuff for school use as part of their um, education program. So a year later, I don't think they sent out any of these through that program. So these don't come up on eBay or anything too often. I managed to get this one, including a full box, although it's a little worn out. But you can see 37,990. The manual in here is in Spanish, I believe. You can see everything I got. So I'm assuming that price is maybe one of the South American currencies. But I also got the, so you can see here they have, it's just the TI 92 manual. And this is available online as well in PDF. But it is substantial. It's a bit too bad I didn't manage to get an English language version, because I do like leafing through a manual every once in a while. But then the thing we have here is just the TI 92.2 addendum. So just the small changes that happened between the 92 and the 92.2. So Yeah, that's what I got. Unfortunately, what I didn't get was the hardcover for it. This original display, it uses like a blue LCD, and so the contrast is a lot lower. It's a lot harder to see um, versus, and it's a lot more reflective versus this newer screen on the 92 Plus and then the V200 and um, 89 and 89 Ti. So that is a bit of a drawback to one of these, but with this 89 and 92 2, I believe I have an example of everything in this series of calculators now that TI did with the M68K processor. So I'm sure there's a couple upgrade modules and stuff. I think there was a memory expansion pack um, available for the 92 and maybe one other or two other modules, but I'm going to go ahead and say that for now, at least, this part of my collection is complete, except for spares, which is always a troubling thing when you're a collector. In case one of these breaks and you want to use it, you always need a backup and a backup of a backup. So that gets kind of messy. But yeah, the other thing, I wouldn't assume any of these are different from what we've done previously. Still 0 to the power 0, still 1 on this one. So yeah, the only thing left to do is we'll take a look at the speed test. Okay, so here's the leaderboards, and you can see I've reorganized it here. So just fastest is here, and then it goes down, and then there's a second column. Um, so where's all our 92s? So we have the V200, the TI-89 Titanium. Those are at the same speed, about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. We have the TI-92 with the Plus module was the fastest of the 92s, oddly, because the Plus, which should be the fastest, was actually coming in slower. And then over here we have the TI-92, just the plain one, at 4 minutes and 44 seconds. So presumably the TI-89 is going to be the same speed as this. Just like the V200 and the 89 Titanium came in at the same speeds. And then the 92.2, I would think would be between the 92 and the 92 Plus, except this thing's really throwing me off. So I'm guessing someplace, around here, that 3.5 minute mark for the 92.2. But yeah, I'll go run the test and then see what happens. Okay, I'm back from running the speed tests, and again with more controversy. So while running the 89, which should be the same speed as the 92 Plus, I was getting quite a bit of a different result. And so I went back and I reran the 92 Plus speeds, and I was consistently getting something different. And so thinking back, I'm not sure. Maybe I had the 92 Plus at the time. Maybe I was doing some other work on it, or um, had it on for a while and was, messing around, and that caused it to run a bit slower, because pretty much everything on here, basically what I do is I have the program in there, I turn it on, and then I run it. And I either use the timestamps within it, like the 92 Plus has an internal clock, the 50G, the Model 100, they have an internal clock, and I would use that so I didn't have to monitor everything. or I would just record it as it was running, and then I would go back and watch the video and get the timestamps for start and stop off of that. So, I mean, the other thing it could have been was just really bad math. I do run these multiple times, so I don't think I would have had the same um, math error 3 times in a row when looking at how long things took, but I mean, entirely possible. Um, so, with that said, and with a little bit of controversy, but it's my favorite. I'm going to give it all the chances I can. I'm going to update the 92 plus. So the new time I've got for that is 3 minutes and 5 seconds, which puts it just below the 89 titanium. So we'll move that down there. And of course, I got that by running the program on the 89 titanium. And so the time I got, or sorry, the TI-89. So the time I got for that is actually 3 minutes and 1 second, which is disappointingly still a bit faster. Um, that could come down to a couple different things. There could still be something like, I'm sure I have a lot more programs and usage on the 92 plus, so there could be like a variables thing or a memory thing, or it could just come down to like, the actual processor running a bit faster, like the binning of them or something. Um, some small difference in the processor means this one runs, a couple ticks faster or whatever. Um, but yeah, there's those two. And then the TI-92 2 is 2 minutes and 51 seconds. I don't know. I don't know why. It's still faster than the 92 plus. I'd still way rather take the 92 plus um, than the 92 2 just because of that screen. But the fact that this keeps kind of happening is weird to me. But I guess it's how it's happening. So yeah, so a little bit more controversy, a little bit more unexpected results. But there we go. So the 92 plus I've updated to 3 minutes and 5. The 89 is still just a bit faster, and then the 92 2 is coming in just a bit faster than that. Um, but yeah, with that, like I said, I think this pretty much completes my collection of at least this little corner of my collection with the Motorola 68,000 based TIs. But yeah, thank you for watching.